Let's take another look at all things binge-worthy. Once again, Mr. Binge TV Guru is going to give us a list to discuss. You can catch him here on Al in the Afternoon and on Binge-worthy TV Guru on Facebook.
You know what's funny about you, Mr. Binge Lewis? I love having you on. The way your mind works is just a scotch off. In that, we've been kind of going on a roll, doing the movie thing and the great lines, and you pull this one out, loving it. Just absolutely loving this entire bit we're going to be doing.
Well, I know you're a big game show fan. You love the game shows. Turn your volume up because I can barely hear you. But you're a big game show fan. And I thought, you know what? The game shows, I picked out some that I think are my favorite, and to see if you and how well you know these game shows, we're going to see if you can guess, or your listeners can guess, when they first started, what year they started. And I'm not going into anything on relaunching. I'm not going anything on second host, because the what made these shows successful, as you know, was the original host and the way they started it. So I don't care about what's happened now and all that kind of stuff.
All right, that's fair enough. I don't know how well I do with guessing the year, but I'll be in the ballpark. I got to imagine. Let's do this. The first movie that Lewis has put out for his first TV game show, right here. A little more.
In what country will your husband say the last foreign car he rode in was manufactured? Fran?
The United States?
That's not a foreign country.
Texas.
Will your husband say is his very favorite kind of rodent? Georgie?
It's a rodent.
His very favorite kind of rodent.
His saxophone.
And Binge, Bob Eubanks, to me, one of the great all-time game show hosts of all time. He's done a lot of them, but he was great.
I agree, because what made him great is his expression. He was the best straight man of most game shows, because he could just have that look of shock and disgust when somebody said something ridiculous, and it made it funnier than even what the line was.
I don't even know. It's one of the first, because it was an older show, where you realize if you put a camera in front of people, they get so nervous and they start just saying the stupidest stuff. This one was one of those. Just how many times the newlyweds would say something like these gals, a foreign country for your car, America. Well, I don't think that's a foreign country. Texas. It's like, really, they're not that stupid. But the idea that the cameras, because this was all new back then, it petrified people.
Oh, they said the most insane things. Sometimes you're wondering if they were really that stupid or just a combination of both. I think it was like crazy stuff they answered with.
What got me about this, even this game, and back in the day, right now, you almost don't play a game if you couldn't win $1 million. You don't even go on a game. These guys, hey, let's look what you won, and they'll spin around, and you won this washer. They didn't even throw in dryers. It was just the washer. You can hang the clothes after that. They played for such little stuff on this show.
Well, and even the one in the 50s, they played, okay, today for $50. Can you tell me $50? Even in the 50s, it's like you're going on a game show to win $50.
Well, what was that? The $64,000 question?
Yes.
You had to get through like 12 questions. It just kept getting harder to get to that 64,000. Right now, I don't know, a game show, you don't make $250,000 if you just get on and start working it.
Absolutely. And almost every one of these that we're covering is still on today. We're not going to go into it because I don't care. I want to talk about the original deal, but they almost all have survived over the decades.
I think about this one, I don't think they ever had the Newlywed Game come back, did they? It's
yes,
too bad.
They did.
Did they? Oh,
yes,
that's
come back several times. And who thought up this concept for the Newlywed Game? Do you remember?
Oh, that's way before me.
Oh no, that's somebody you know.
Somebody I know?
Chuck Barris.
Did he really?
Chuck Barris came up with the Newlywed Game and the dating game.
Seriously, and the Gong Show?
Before he did the Gong Show, he was developing these game shows. He just had a mastermind for putting this together, and I thought that was so cool. Now, here's the
good.
question, Al.
All right.
The Newlywed Game, first run. What year did it start?
All right. I remember some of the outfits some of the women wore were just so 70s. I'm going to say it started in 72.
Okay. It started in 66. First run went to 74.
All right. So, okay. So I saw something. Okay. 66. I probably wasn't watching much at 2. So maybe I missed a couple of episodes.
That's the case.
Oh, that's a good one, though. I like that a lot. All right. Our next one. Let's see. In this. Well,
Love it.
The host, man, they make these things work. Here we go.
Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. Our friends in the panel would, as usual, know who was here by sight, so we have had to, as usual, give them blindfolds. Are they all in place, panel?
Yes, John.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we dispense with all usual preliminaries, get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with, let's see, Arlene Francis.
Well, judging from the applause, I take it that you are a performer.
That's
That kind of a performer. Would you consider yourself a leading man?
rather.
And have you appeared in pictures?
Yeah.
Are you best known for your performances in pictures? As opposed to the theater?
Sure, and I think she's right there. I think so too.
Have you got just one head? There are so many dialects. It is just one person?
Yahoo.
And are you associated with one particular studio?
Yeah, that's one job not to go, Mr. Sir.
Have you ever done any work on television and radio?
Yeah.
Right. Go on. It's Ronald Reagan, just for folks that aren't catching the bit. Whose line is it anyway?
What's my line?
Very young when they were replaying it. The concept is so strange. Like you take these four panel guys and you blindfold them so they can't see who it is. Was the idea of a screen, in front of the guest so wild that we couldn't come up with that? We had to blindfold four other people. I think today we could do this with a little.
Only Al in the afternoon would think of that. I thought the blindfold was an extra special touch so we knew they couldn't see this celebrity that was coming in.
What was it, the dating game or whatever?
Yeah.
They just had to sit on the other side of the little wall there. You could do this.
Well, that was
many
years later. So technology, Okay.
Not thinking through.
What's my line? What year was What's My Line?
See, but as I remember that was almost all in black and white. So it has to be in the 50s. I'd say 56, 57. It's early stuff.
1950 to 1967.
Wow. So it really
First
had a
run.
run. Well, what's cool about it is kind of like today, you can get D celebs to do just about any of these kind of things. Go out there and try to get your name for yourself. They pulled some pretty big guests out to be on this TV because TV was new.
When I was putting this list together, I got trapped into just watching this show, just watching all the celebrities come on. It was very interesting and very fun to see them in a little different light. I love this show.
There, you look at Ronald Reagan. He wasn't Ronald Reagan, the president yet. He wasn't even the politician yet. He was just the guy who did, what was that, going to Washington with the monkey thing, So, he was, I don't think he was all that popular.
He was a B star at best.
But, which gave him a chance because these guys who knew Hollywood couldn't guess him necessarily because he's not necessarily the standout star. So I like the premise of the movie, the show, but what did they win? I don't even know.
You know what? I watched many of them. I can't tell you what they won. It was so irrelevant what they won. But it was a good show.
It was way early, 50. You're earlier than my time. We got to go to break, Mr. Binge. When we come back, I do like the next one, and this one has been going on forever. Absolutely. Throw in host here. It's a lot of fun. We talk about it next on Al in the Afternoon.
Minnesota's #1 talk show. Follow the show on Facebook at Al in the Afternoon. Al Travis, your friend that knows a guy.
Lewis, you animal on this one. We're talking about great TV game shows. This is something I have always loved my whole life. I don't care from when I was a kid on. Love watching TV game shows. This next one, I'm not saying an expert at, but I so want to be the producer of this thing. I could make it so much better so fast, and I still love this show. So thank you for putting this one on. Let's play it and discuss.
Name an animal with 3 letters in its name. Frog. Something found in a refrigerator. Milk. A brand of gasoline. Regular. Something that comes with a summer storm. Snow. A sport with an all-star game. Turn around. You may never be up here again. Let's take a look. I don't believe it. Name an animal with 3 letters in its name. You said frog. Our survey said 0. 2 people would have to say that. Something found in a refrigerator. You said milk. Our survey said 28. A brand of gasoline we wanted. You said regular. That's a good brand. Our survey said the brand I use. Something that comes with a summer storm. You gave me the answer. Snow. Our survey said.
All right. We have, of course, the Family Feud and Binge. Dawson was the cream of the crop on that program. He carried it. He made it funny. He knew when to pause, when to let your stupidest answer of all time just sit out there and hang until you figured out.
Richard Dawson, you're right. Richard Dawson was one of the best. It was absolutely fabulous. And I don't care how many times I've seen reruns of this. When Richard Dawson's the host, it's awesome. Now, I have seen an episode or 2 of the new one with Steve, is it Harvey?
Yeah.
Harvey. It's good. It's good. It's not Richard Dawson good, but it's surprisingly entertaining.
It went through a few guys. They had this Ray Combs guy, hated him. He went through the awkward stage of trying to be Dawson, one of his things, he kissed all the ladies.
Yep.
And they didn't seem to mind. It was a different time in life. No one cared. Combs comes in and is like, oh, I don't want to steal Richard's thing. He got all weird, didn't do it. Sometimes it was weird. Louis Anderson, I don't know if you remember Louis Anderson did it for a while. He was horrid.
Yep, it was bad. It was not funny. It was not witty. And he can be funny, but he was terrible on that.
He's a funny guy, but stand-up comic isn't what Richard Dawson was. He did it different. Richard Kern, the guy from the Tim Allen show.
Right. Yes, I forgot he did that.
He gave that a shot. He was horrible. There's an English guy, John O'Hurley. He came in, hated him. But then they found Steve Harvey. Yep. And you know what? Steve Harvey can do it. He's got the comic rhythm to him that if somebody says, he just stops. It's like, you got to be kidding me. Let this hang. He gets it.
He's the closest to Richard of every one of those people. I've seen little bits of each one, and you're exactly right. Yep. But he has big shoes to fill with Richard Dawson, because that was undoubtedly the best.
And that's where you come in. If the Newlywed Game, it'd be very hard to do because, some of these hosts made that show. It's hard for others to step up and just say, oh, I can do that. Well, you think you can, but it's not easy. So
First, Richard Dawson. What years did he host Family Feud?
And again, I'm not. This is just a shot in the dark because, of course, I would say looking at his suits and what he wore, it's all the big lapel stuff. I'm saying it's the mid 70s. It's 74 through 80.
Good job. 80s, 76 through 85.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I took a step. I'm not
9-year run. Awesome.
Now, are you not going to ask me how I'd improve that program?
Pardon?
I told you I could.
Oh, yes. How are you? Al, I forgot to ask you. I was going to ask you, how would you improve that program?
Thank you very much. Because I watch it. I like it. I like the premise of it. I like to go out and get, 100 people surveyed and they do this. It's good TV. But for whatever reason, they have decided you got to find the most psychotic families of all time. and it gets worse because, you got to be that crazy to get on. So the next group acts crazier. I don't need that to make this show work. I don't need to jump up and, great answer when it's a stupid answer. Back in the day, those guys that gave it a shot. Okay, good try, hon. They didn't act crazy. I think they lose something when your freak shows are on TV.
Well, see, and that's just go with your point. The Steve Harvey version, he's good on it. I usually don't like the guests because they're too over the top.
Exactly.
These
And they
are
don't.
genuine people, and you can tell in this when they say something stupid. 90% of the time, they're just nervous.
Yeah.
They just say something and go, "Oh, what have I said? I can't believe I said that."
Yeah, so
that
I like that, and even the questions that they're doing with Harvey now, I give them credit. They're a little more adult content related. Sure. What's in your fridge? That worked in 1970. Yep. What's on your nightstand is what they're saying now. And I'm okay with that. I think we've grown as a society. I think that shows you keep the host now. I was going to say that the host matters on this show. He carries it all. So I like Harvey, who's on there now. You got to get rid of the crazy people and throw some money at it. Playing for $10,000. We're back to really.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we have a couple.
Well, and that's on this list. This is one reason I decided that it would just be original hosts who made this show famous. Now, some of them still work at some level, some do not. But these are the people, a combination of the times and stuff that made it happen. So that's awesome.
I love it, Louis. We are completely out of time. So we're going to, I know it went fast because these are great. And some of these guys that I'm looking are coming up are the best. When we talk the Gong Show, we'll do the whole half hour. I absolutely love the Gong Show.
I'm with you.
We've got it all coming up with Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis, how do we get to find you on the Facebook web thing? Are we finding you? Because if people can find this list and look it over and join us next week.
I'm so glad you asked, because Mr. Binge is back on Facebook at some level. And he or you would say I, developed a new website. So if you go to MrBingeTVGuru.net,
okay,
it'll take you to our website. Right on the home page, you can find our my Facebook page, my YouTube page, and even a section on there where I'm looking at Twitter. I know nothing about it, but I got the logo up there. So everything's on there, so you can check out the movies, you can check out everything. But as on this particular thing, the Facebook link is right on that website.
So it's MrBingeTVGuru.net.
Net, correct.
All right. I want to make sure people get it right. Louis, it's always a pleasure. I'll make sure I have it on our Facebook daily thing we just did here. Thanks for being on. Can't wait to cover next week.
Fun. Thank you.
It's Mr. Lewis, TV Guru, at Al in the afternoon.